Hello, Tom Lavecchia here with the latest edition of the New Theory podcast. I just want to spend a second saying I apologize for those because we're actually starting to get some avid listeners, and the numbers actually went up during a bit of a hiatus. But we had a little bit of a hiatus here on the show. Busy life got in the way, but we're happy to be back. I'm happy to be back. And I just ask that you comment and subscribe wherever you're listening, and especially on iTunes, if you wouldn't mind leaving a comment. And bad comments are okay because we're always looking to improve. So as you know, we pride ourselves on having great guests and, as importantly, meaningful conversations. And this next guest is no exception. I'm here with Ninos Shamo. This guy's a phenomenal 16-year-old drop shipper, mastered the Shopify play, and literally hit like 5 to 10K per day, and was like in the six figures at 16 years old. Ninos, welcome to the New Theory podcast. How you doing today, buddy?
Good. How are you?
All right, so let's start out with, people hear drop shipping, Shopify drop shipper. Now, again, we have some people in the space, so they get that. But let's first talk about that people that don't. What is a drop shipper? And, Shopify and all that fun stuff.
Yeah, so basically how the dropshipping business model works is you take wholesale products and you sell them for a retail price, right? So you basically sell it on your own website. I use Shopify. There's so many different hosting platforms that you can make your own website, but Shopify just seems to be like the most easiest one to set up a website on,
Okay.
Right? So what you do is basically you post up the products on your store and you don't have any inventory. You only purchase, like, once a person orders a product from your store, your supplier, you basically send him a notification using like different softwares, and he gets that notification, he gets their address, and he ships it out. You know what I mean? So it's like you don't ever see or touch the product. The supplier deals with all the shipping and handling. Your goal is just to make that sale happen.
Okay, so you're not going to, what is it, Baidu or whatever, the Asian stuff, getting cheap stuff, importing them, throwing them in your garage and selling them. You're actually hooking up with a drop shipping company that has inventory in a said space, correct?
Yeah, suppliers, exactly.
Okay, now, like, I'm 3 years old, right? Did you go to one big drop shipping company and you're like, hey, what do you sell, right? Or did you notice what was selling and then go to a drop shipper company? Like, how did you roll that out?
Yeah, so basically there's different product research methods, but the goal is to find trends that are about to explode, right? And when you do that, what you do is you go onto AliExpress and you find certain products that are in that niche that's about to blow up, and you test them using Facebook ads, Instagram ads, or even Google ads, right? And some products work, some products might not work. But once you get 50 orders a day, what I do is then I contact the supplier that I'm using from AliExpress, and I tell them, or I need to buy in bulk, or I go into Alibaba, I buy in bulk. I send it to an actual warehouse where they do faster shipping times to the US. So it's like 3 to 5 day shipping, 7-day shipping. But that's once you know a product is like you're getting consistent sales, like 50 sales a day for maybe I say 3 to 4 days in a row. And that's when I go buy in bulk, ship it up to the warehouse, and they start sending over.
Okay, so Nina, so you're doing a little bit of a hybrid, meaning like you're not going to a drop shipping company that has inventory already and giving up margin and saying, hey, I'll give up margin, just ship this out for me. You're actually buying in bulk to get better margin, throwing in, a buck or two a shipment for the drop shipper, so they make a few bucks. And,
Exactly.
okay, now, are there, big box drop shippers that you recommend, or do you have to really research? Should you start off on your own to get the margin? Give us how somebody, if they want to get into this, how should they start from the drop shipping side?
Yeah, so the first thing you're gonna do is you're not gonna buy in bulk. You're just gonna use AliExpress as like your main the main source of your product, and you're only gonna buy that product once you get a sale. So right now, say if you ordered something from my store, it would the supplier from AliExpress would get that notification, and then he'd ship it out to your house, right? But once I start getting that consistent sales, then I go to Alibaba, I contact different suppliers for that product that's booming, right? And I see who can get me the best deal, who can give me faster shipping to that warehouse that's in the US, so that then they can go ahead and ship it out with faster shipping times.
Okay, so that makes sense. Okay, now, because we'll get to the marketing in a second. One thing, though, I did have somebody who did something similar on the show, and what confused me was about their store was like all over the place. It wasn't like a clothes store. It was a clothes. They had cleaning equipment. It was like a shit show.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
like, what's give me the structure of your website.
So basically, what I do is I start off with a general store. I'm pretty sure that's what the person's store was.
Yeah.
And what happens is I test the products on that general store, and once I find a winner product, then I make another store that has products that are related to that one product. So it's like I start building a brand.
Smart. That's brilliant. Okay, now let's get to the fun stuff. Okay, so the reason why I never got into drop shipping personally, I own a UPS store, a franchise store, just one store, but so I have the shipping taken care of. I have the logistics. I can even find products to buy cheap. But the real players are the ones who know these metrics and keep them down. I also had Sean Kelly. You know Sean Kelly? Is the name ring a bell?
Yeah, yeah, Jersey Champs.
Yeah, he's a man. So I had him on as well, and I definitely think he's one of the forerunners in the space. But so acquisition costs, right? So you set up a website, great. Shopify, great. Um, or there's SEO, there's Google Shopping, there's Facebook ads. So give me like how much it costs initially to get somebody to make a sale. Cost per acquisition when you started out, and then give me what your CPA is now and what you did to lower it. 'Cause I know you did. So give us like, oh shit, I was at, $4 and now I'm down to 80 cents, whatever that is. So give us, what you started out at your CPA, cost per acquisition. Give us what you're at now, and then how did you lower it?
Okay, so um, what basically happens is on Facebook ads, each ad set is like itself. So, for example, say we're testing one product and that one product has 8 different ad sets, but with the same video, they're just different, let's say, interests and placements, right? One ad set may have an $8 cost per purchase, the other one might have 4. What I would do is I cut that $8 cost per purchase because it's like expensive. Maybe it's taken away from my profits. Maybe I'm not even profiting because of that $8, right? That $8 cost per purchase. So I keep that $4 one, and I start to see, say if it has 5 purchases, I see what genders are buying it out of the 5. And if like 4 are women and 1 are men, then I duplicate that ad set and make it woman only. And that should outperform the other one and do even better. So that would lower the cost of purchase. I even there's even something on Facebook called lookalike audiences. And what they do is they basically collect all this data from your sales, and they make an audience based off of the people who have already purchased, people who have added to cart, people who have viewed content, and those cost per purchases go like really, really down because Facebook, they obviously want you to spend money and make money. Because if you make money, then you're gonna spend more money with them to make more because you'll keep scaling. So lookalike audiences are more in the Facebook's hand, but you could really take advantage of that.
Okay, so that makes sense. But what about like Google Shopping, Google Pay Per Click, SEO, social bookmarking? Is that stuff, just too high of an acquisition cost so you don't bother? Or is this something you do secondarily once money comes in? Walk me through that.
Yeah, so I'm actually in the process of learning Google Ads because it's like a whole other platform. So it's either when you start off dropshipping, it's either you do Google Ads or you do Facebook, right?
Correct.
I decided to choose Facebook just because there was more resources on YouTube at the time about it. But I actually have one of my friends. He's getting like super insane results using Google Ads. So I might. That's what got me wanting to learn that too. Because if I can like kind of master both, then my stores will be like exploding, right? So that's what I'm at with Google Ads. I'm in the process of learning it. And with SEO, what I do about that is there's an app. Let me see if I can remember the name. It's called SEO Image Optimizer. It's all like automated. So what they do is they actually do all the work for you, and it's like a free app too. So it's like if someone searches up a store name that's using that app in their store, it'll be like the rank first.
I like that. Okay, because then images maybe like 10% of the searches, and it's a quick way to get above the engines. All right. So I like everything I hear. You make it sound a little bit easier than it is for some people, but nevertheless, it can be done if they follow your playbook. What's the most you made gross in a month?
In a month, I've hit in oh this is funny. It was during Q4 too. It was in November. I started marketing so heavily because Christmas was coming, right? And since the shipping times are kind of long from AliExpress, because this was at like the testing phase, I was getting like maybe like 2 to 4 weeks shipping. So I wanted to make sure I sell those like Christmas niche products in November, so that by the time it's Christmas, um, they would deliver to the customer, right? So I hit over 60K in that one.
Wow. And then what type, if you don't mind, again, you're welcome to share if you're comfortable. What type of net margins you make at 60K, and are they consistent, across the revenue, or the more you make, the margins get better? But what's your average net margin?
The average sometimes 32, sometimes 35%.
Wow, keep in your pocket, or you still have expenses under that 32%.
No, no, no. That's pocket.
Wow. Okay. Wow. I mean, to be honest, I thought drop shipping, and again, you probably do it better because you're acquiring clients for less, was in the mid 20s. So nice work on that. One thing is though, so, but doesn't it make sense at some point when you're cooking, like let's say you have a $500,000 store, and 32% margin is great. So I don't think you can even beat it. But historically, if you do it yourself, like you Alibaba the shit out of it, you get it sent to your garage, and you pick pack it with your mom and your aunt, and you send it out, and until you grow to like a major player. Doesn't it make sense when you start making X amount of dollars to actually insource to get better margin, or no, because you kind of got the system down pat? Walk me through that like thought process.
Um, the reason why I haven't actually done that is because right now the systems I have in place are so automated, right? So I have someone doing the customer service. I have people doing the order fulfillment. So
Got
it's
it.
like my job right now, like in the business, my only job is to actually do the marketing, right? Like I even have someone to do the email marketing, which is like a great way of getting sales, a free way of getting sales, because you're just using your email list to acquire like old clients, past people who have already bought. But yeah, I spend maybe like 15 to 30 minutes a day just monitoring Facebook ads, cutting the bad ad sets, scaling the good ones. And that's why I haven't really touched anything, just because it's like it's so stable the way it is right now. But if I were to do that, I'd rather just sell on Amazon, because then there's no like ad costs, and people, they know what Amazon is.
Well, that's what I wanted to ask you. You haven't mentioned any platform sites yet, right? And for Amazon, I think the acquisition cost is, they say it's 15, but it's really 17%, right? Um, do you not have room for margin on that 17%, or you don't want to send your goods in? Like, why are you not on Amazon as like a secondary, way to make money?
I've heard that their fees are like really expensive. Um, and so that kind of like turned me off. They,
Got
they
it.
just have so many fees in play, like um, just holding your product with them. I don't know what the fees are. I just know that there's so many fees. Like there's even like transaction fees plus the fee of like shipping out the product. There's just so many fees, and it kind of bothers me. So I'd rather just do it the way I'm already doing it right now.
No, no, you stay in your lane. I love what you're doing. So here's the part that I want to tease out. You're definitely a digital marketer. I mean, you may not know Google PPC, but you're definitely a strong, knows how to, rock the social channel. So you're definitely a social marketer. You know what you're doing, especially for a young guy. So God bless.
Thank
So
you.
I love everything you're doing. So
Thank
do
you.
you scale by you doing more of this? Do you scale to maybe be an agency for other drop shippers who want to get into the game, and they outsource to you the marketing? Or are you more going to do, e-learning series to scale that way? How are you going to scale? Because you're a smart kid, right? How do you plan on scaling this?
So I actually have multiple programs right now for people who want to join. Um, for people who want to start like this whole the drop shipping and just getting into entrepreneurship, right? So this is a great business model to even start off, because it's like you don't really need a huge budget to start. You do need money for ads, for Shopify, for the domain, but it's not like you need like $10,000 for it. Like usually these businesses are pretty expensive to start, but this is one of like the lower ones. But yeah, as of now, I have many programs I teach. I have over, I've made over, I think it's 250K in student results. right? I'm also in the process of building my own digital course, just because now stuff is getting like a bit too much. You know what I mean? Like I have way too many clients on the phone because I don't have like any courses where it's like pre-recorded videos. These are the students I have right now. I always do calls with them, like live calls. I use Team Viewer to share screens, hop on their ads, teach them everything that I know, and it's been good so far.
All right, so let's do this first. If you don't mind, if because I want to stalk your shit. So give us your main store on Shopify that we could check out if you're comfortable. I don't know because sometimes the opposite. Some dropshippers are like, listen, I'll show you my secrets, but I don't like to give away my store because people can reverse engineer. Are you comfortable giving away the URL for your main store?
No, because the reason is exactly what you just said.
Yeah.
They can reverse engineer, and that's actually one of the methods that I teach is like ethically finding other stores' products and just selling it on your own.
We call that benchmarking. Find out their sites, products they sell that are selling. Hey, I should sell these too, and then sell them. Yeah, so that's a form
Yeah,
of benchmarking. So that
it's
covers the morality, right? Okay,
yeah, it's one of the main product research methods. Yeah.
okay. How about how do we find you then?
How do we find like me?
Yeah.
Oh, Instagram at Ninos Official and YouTube. Just search up Ninos Shamo on Google and it'll be the first link.
So are you still in high school?
Yeah, I'm going into grade 12.
Jesus Christ! And then like what? How like obviously it's a part-time gig because you're going to school full time. But like, how do you balance everything and still go to the prom and play football if that's what you do or whatever the hell you do as a kid? But like, how do you balance being a kid but also being a baller? you know?
Yeah, so honestly, now it's so automated, right? As I said, I'm only spending 10 to 30 minutes a day checking ads. But in grade 11, first semester, I sacrificed a lot. Same thing with grade 10, second semester. During that whole phase, like 6 months, I sacrificed so much, right? Like I wasn't going to the gym. Um, you know, how, like entrepreneurs are like that thing, don't party or whatever. I wasn't like partying or chilling. I kind of just grinded like crazy, right? Like I had no sleep for like 6 months. But once I had everything set up, then I started to focus on my health again. Now I go to the gym, I take protein shakes, whatever it is. I'm trying to focus on my health too now. But it does take sacrifice at first. But once you have it, like once you break through and you have everything automated, it's like you can go back to living your life again.
And you can scale. Ninos, listen, I had high expectations of this call. I could easily have you on for another 2-3 hours, but I think that people should check you out. I know they should check you out. I'm going to put your link to your Instagram so they can find you that way. And
Thank you.
Ninos, man, thank you for being on the New Theory podcast.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Have a good day, everyone.
Buddy. Good job.